नमस्कार, वेलकम टू ऑनेस्ट एस्ट्रोलॉजर एंड आप में से बहुत सारे लोगों ने कहा था कि साहब राहु जुपिटर दशा संधि पे बनाई है। और मैं ये कह रहा था कि मेरी रिसर्च पूरी नहीं हुई। अब जाकर के रिसर्च पूरी हुई है and I have the research subject herself, the lady herself with me. Please welcome Divya. She has done a lot of interviews with us, but she has just finished her Rahu Jupiter Dasha Sandhi. And she had called me asking कि साहब दशा संधि में क्या होता है। मैंने कहा तुम तो मेरा टेस्ट सब्जेक्ट हो, तुमको ऑब्जर्व करके मैं फाइनल नतीजे पर पहुंचूंगा। देयर वर अ फ्यू मोर, बट शी वाज लाइक राइट इन द आई ऑफ द स्टॉर्म। So Divya, welcome back to Honest Astrologer. Happy to have you once again. Shall we start?
Thank you, sir, for having me on this. And yes, absolutely. And I'm very excited to do this because I think for almost a year, we've been waiting to get through this time.
Yeah.
And so we can share a hands-on experience on what it's like to move from Rahu to Jupiter.
Yeah. You look very Jupiterian today.
Oh, thank
You
you.
look
I'm
happy
glad.
and the background is beautiful. कहाँ हो अभी?
By the Holy Ganga.
Very
Yeah.
good. कहाँ ऋषिकेश?
Rishikesh, yeah.
Yeah, Rishikesh has its own beauty.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So very Jupiterian. The whole setting
हाँ
is
हाँ
very Jupiterian. Yeah.
वरना हर
Yeah.
बार तो हम दिल्ली में होती
And,
थी एंड दिल्ली इज अ वेरी राहु सिटी। ओके,
absolutely.
तो
Absolutely.
एक बार हम रिवाइंड करेंगे तुम्हारा राहु का जो आखिरी 2.5 साल था, विच इज लाइक द टफेस्ट, स्पेशली राहु मून। अरविंद केजरीवाल वाला मीम था ना, परेशान हो गए हम लोग 2.5 साल से। तो राहु मून का आखिरी 2.5 साल कुछ वैसा ही जाता। तो लेट्स रिवाइंड, लेट्स जॉग डाउन द मेमोरी लेन. And why I want to ask this question, it will give a lot of hope to people who are suffering through that tough period.
I think I was looking for a lot of hope during my ride. Went through every possible video on astrology, every possible article. कि Rahu Moon karta kya hai in reality, and that's where I met you after reading your article. So I think I want to start off with that Rahu Moon indeed is a very tricky time. So when you're not feeling yourself during Rahu Moon, know that it is a time with nothing to do with you. Rahu plays a big impact on your mental state because you overfeel your emotions, you feel too much, you don't have clarity. आपको कुछ समझ ही नहीं आता कि आगे है क्या। जैसे आपने बोला, ऐसा लगता है आप एक अंधेरे कमरे में बंद हो गए हो और कुछ पता नहीं जीवन में क्या हो रहा है। So it's a very hallucinating, it's a very depressive time. It was definitely very, very hard on me. So Rahu Moon, I kept looking for hope, and that's the time I went to see a psychologist because उसके बिना बात बन ही नहीं सकती थी. It takes such a big hit on your mental state that you cannot operate without it. And when I met you, you made me feel really validated. You saw my chart and you're like, this is Rahu Moon. It is going to be like this for a while. And that was true. जो आपने डेट प्रिडिक्ट करी राहु मंगल शुरू होने तक की, वो सफर वैसा ही था। जैसे जैसे हम राहु मंगल में आते हैं तो डेफिनेटली राहु मून जितना खराब तो नहीं रहता है, अगेन डिपेंडिंग ऑन द स्थिति ऑफ योर मंगल। एंड बैक टू मून, माय मून इज एक्सॉल्टेड, इट्स इन द बेस्ट स्टेट पॉसिबल। Still it was so bad. So I really, my heart goes out to people जिनका moon भी अच्छी situation में नहीं है, what they must be going through. But one big thing which I think you had told me, that Shiv Puja is the biggest Ramban for this time. And you have to stick by Lord Shiva and do a lot of remedies for doing that. जो भी आपको थोड़ा बहुत बचा सकता है, it is Shiva Puja. So as you move into Rahu Mangal,
there is one thing which is even better, which is Kali Puja for Rahu Moon.
Yeah.
And there are reasons for it. Anyways, वो कभी और के लिए. Let's go to
वो
Rahu
मैंने
Moon.
करा नहीं, I can only speak
वो
from
तुम्हारे
what I've
चार्ट को
done.
शिव पूजा ज्यादा सूट करते थे ना, टॉरस मून। तुम्हारे लिए इट वाज मोर बेनिफिशियल। राहु मार्स।
राहु मार्स, ओके। तो मेरे को प्रिडिक्शन मिली थी, आज तक वो दिन याद है कि 28 अप्रैल के बाद 28 अप्रैल, पोस्ट 28 अप्रैल, दिव्या, आई गिव इट टू यू इन राइटिंग, is when I met you in Jaipur. You told me that you're going to start feeling better. And you really feel very suicidal at that point because you lose hope in Rahu Moon. See, I can't still get over Rahu Moon while we have moved to Rahu Mars. And things did start to get better. I felt a little bit more control. एंड आई थिंक जो मैंने लार्जली अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ और बाकी चार्ट्स के साथ ऑब्जर्व करा है, राहु मंगल में क्या होता है, आपको कहीं कहीं से थोड़े थोड़े हीलर्स या कुछ होप मिलनी शुरू हो जाती है, आप हाथ पैर मारने शुरू कर देते हो। यू कम आउट ऑफ दैट स्टेट ऑफ हेल्पलेसनेस कि मेरा कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता से, अच्छा चलो, मैं, कोई कहता है मैं साइकोलॉजिस्ट ट्राई करता हूँ, कोई कहता है मैं रेकी ट्राई करता हूँ, कोई कहता है मैं मेडिटेशन ट्राई करता हूँ। आप जुपिटेरियन एक्टिविटीज की तरफ आना शुरू करते हो, आपको गुस्सा बहुत ज्यादा आता है, आपको लगता है ये क्या हुआ, सब कुछ बहुत कंफ्यूजिंग होता है. एक्चुअली राहु मंगल इज अ वेरी वेरी टफ टाइम because there's a lot of khichdi happening in your mind. You don't know what has happened, you don't understand, and you know that there's hope in the future because astrologers have been telling you so, but you don't believe it. So you're very angry and frustrated and agitated, are the words I would use. So, like, would you agree that this is the sentiment for Rahu Mangal?
Yeah, Rahu Mangal mein, what I've seen is Rahu Moon, you are threatened and terrified.
Yeah,
Rahu Mangal, you want to fight back.
yeah,
The key theme of Rahu Mangal is fight back. Even if I'll go down in a blaze of glory, I will do something about it. तो वो
yeah,
courage आ जाता because both the senapatis are running together. Rahu Mars period, I have seen people, they are quavering jelly in Rahu Moon and suddenly they become warriors in Rahu Mars. So it is like one of my favorite transitions. And I still remember your phone call which came in May first week or something. मुझे रोको मैं सिर तोड़ दूंगी किसी का. मैंने
there
कहा
was a lot of
मंगल आ
temper.
गया. मैंने कहा राहु मंगल आ गया. I'm happy for you. So,
Yeah, people started telling me कि तुम इतनी लड़ाकू हो गई हो, तुम्हें इतना गुस्सा क्यों आता है. But I would not disagree, but थोड़ा सा I would differ from this point. आप अंदर से लड़ना चाहते हो, but I think after 16 and a half, 17 years of Rahu, you just still don't have the courage to fight back. It comes much, much later. It's actually at the beginning of Jupiter when you put your foot down and say that this is not right and this is right. So Rahu Mangal is a very frustrating time for a lot of people that I've seen. For example, they would towards the second half of Rahu Mangal, I think I would divide Rahu Mangal into two parts. So first half of Rahu Mangal, लोग या तो travel करना शुरू कर देते हैं, अलग-अलग therapies, alternate ways to get themselves okay, and they're trying desperately. Second half में वो अपने मन को समझाना शुरू कर देते हैं. You know, the more you walk towards Jupiter, the more they go towards God. But उनको लगता है नहीं नहीं नहीं. But I am about, you know, you are Rahu for the last so many years. मुझे business करना है, मुझे ये करनी. And this I have heard from so many people. Oh, I'm sitting jobless. Why am I not doing anything with my life? What is this satsang and puja? This is nonsense. I should go make money. But your heart wants this. Your brain is trained like Rahu and you want to chase the illusion. Your heart wants sanity. तो बहुत ही conflicting time होता है मंगल. It's a tough time, honestly. Rahu moon में at least we know that, you know, the mind is not in a good space. Mangal we are confused.
Mangal gives you sudden energy. Yeah? तो वो कंफ्यूजन राहु का रहता है बट वो मून वाला थरथराता हुआ डर नहीं होता.
हाँ.
You suddenly get into some action mode. Usually, and I've seen this a lot for male natives, aggression बहुत आ जाता है. Yeah? You being a
Even
female,
female
you
में
would
aggression
feel,
रहता है.
नहीं मेल्स में ज्यादा
बहुत.
रहता है. Suddenly you get spikes of testosterone. Because मंगल जब भी लाइफ में आएगा, okay? I think there's a lot of research that needs to be done, but मेरी एक theory है कि when you are in राहु मून आपका cortisol बिल्कुल छत पे चढ़ा होता है.
बिल्कुल.
राहु मार्स में वो cortisol के साथ में testosterone आता है. Yeah. So it's a difficult chemical balance to handle. Maybe if we do further research, we will find out and maybe create a medicine
Probably.
for Mahadasha Antardashas. God willing, someday some Ayurveda person can do it. Okay.
I mean, who knows? We'll work on it together.
Why not? वैसा भी तुम्हारा जुपिटर चालू हो गया, मेरा वीनस चालू है, हम लोग नहीं करेंगे, कौन करेगा फिर? हाँ.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
अच्छा, सेकंड थिंग, फीलिंग्स एट द स्टार्ट ऑफ जुपिटर. मुझे लोग कहते थे जुपिटर दशा शुरू होगी, समझ में नहीं आ रहा, केओस है.
बिल्कुल.
या केतु से वीनस में जाते हैं सर, इससे तो केतु ही अच्छा था क्योंकि लास्ट में केतु मरकरी था, बढ़िया जा रहा था सब.
बढ़िया जा रहा.
तो आई ऑलवेज टेल देम कि भैया दशा संधि इज अ डेंजरस पीरियड.
या.
कि अभी तक राहु ने तुम्हारा फुटबॉल बना के खेला, अब जुपिटर कहेगा अब मैं आया हूँ चौके छक्के मारेगा, लेकिन जिंदगी का मैदान तो बदलेगा. वो फुटबॉल ग्राउंड से क्रिकेट पिच तो बनेगी, गोल पोस्ट उखड़ेंगे, घास कटेगी, विकेट लगेगी, तो सारा तूफानी दौर होता है. दशा संधि, आई हैव सीन पीपल चेंज जॉब्स, आई हैव सीन पीपल चेंज हाउसेस, आई हैव सीन पीपल चेंज सिटीज, आई हैव ऑफन सीन पीपल चेंज स्पाउसेस. Okay.
Oh, I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
I would have said boyfriend, but for the people who have spouses, people change,
So,
friends, everything changes.
वो
Everything,
भाई वो
absolutely
देखो,
everything changes.
दशा कैन बी ट्रांसलेटेड टू द वर्ड कंडीशन. ठीक है, तो चेंज इन दशा माने चेंज इन कंडीशन. चेंज इन महादशा, द एंटायर panoramic view of your life changes 360 degrees.
Yeah.
That change is a violent process. It's not a easy process.
Yeah.
So
Change is never easy.
how was your transition from Rahu to Jupiter? I've been a
Well, you,
side visitor to it, but I would rather hear it from
I'm not going to lie. I think it was very tough.
you.
I lost my nani very suddenly, but in the most beautiful way, pretty much at the end of Rahu Mangal. And I think that was the first thing that prompted me to question what life means. And means is life really a preparation towards death, which the Bhagavad Gita talks about? And that got me into a very questioning mode. That got me like into a finding God. Who is God? What is God? Who are we? Sort of a. But in the middle of this, a lot of little jerks came where I was like, oh, Jupiter has started. It's starting. Let's start a business. I was forcing, कि Jupiter शुरू हो रहा है तो अब तो ठीक हो गया सब कुछ, because you're so desperate to see that ray of hope, 18, especially the last 10 years of Rahu just break you, I think. मैंने बहुत कोशिश करी, this business idea, that business idea, and the whole world is conditioned to push you, right? And my body wanted rest, my mind wanted rest, it wanted solace, but हमको एक वो constant tug of war आप जैसे बोलते हैं वो था. And the more I kept going closer to Jupiter, all of a sudden, so I wanted to listen to bhajans. I started enjoying temples. I wanted more quiet. I wanted more meditation. I started finding healers. I found my Reiki teacher in that time. She made a whole lot of a difference in my life. So a lot of shanti slowly started to come into life. A lot of big events happened, like your body, your soul wants to let go of a lot of what has happened in Rahu. And that's with people, that's with events, that's with work, with a lot of things. But itni lambi dasha hoti hai that you want to hold on to it. You want to hold on to that friend. You want to hold on to those family members, that boyfriend, that partner. बट जैसे आप जुपिटर में आते हैं, आपने जो वर्ड यूज करा, ऐसा लगता है धुंधली गाड़ी का शीशा साफ हो रहा है. एंड वर्ड्स कांट डू जस्टिस टू इट, बट इट स्टार्ट्स टू फील लाइक कि मुझे दिख ही नहीं रहा था कि ऐसा था. मतलब व्हाट वाज आई, व्हाई वाज आई पुटिंग अप विद दिस, लाइक व्हाट वाज आई डूइंग. एंड सडनली आपको दिखना, लिटरली ऐसा लगता है आपके चश्मे साफ हो गए. यू स्टार्ट टू सी थिंग्स थ्रू, एंड देन यू वांट टू मूव अवे, बट it's hard to, it's a very मंथन काइंड ऑफ अ प्रोसेस कि मुझे इसको छोड़ना है पर मैं छोड़ भी नहीं पा रही, मुझे ये चीज नहीं करनी पर मैं कर भी नहीं पा रही, क्योंकि हम कंडीशन हो गए 18 साल ये जान जान के कि यही सही है, पैसा कमाना सही है, भागना, स्ट्रेस करना, ये सब सही है. जुपिटर कहता है छोड़ो ना, सरेंडर करो. आई एम रनिंग, गॉड इज लाइक, आई एम रनिंग द वर्ल्ड, नॉट द डूअर, आई एम द डूअर.
Good.
So one very big perspective that changed from Rahu to Jupiter was, I am not the doer. In Rahu, वो जो typical self motivational आपको जिनसे बहुत चिढ़ है, वो होते हैं ना कि come on, you can do anything and you can do that and la la la.
आसान है.
मैंने कहा सर आप केतु और राहु की दशा तो जी के देखिए, फिर आप मुझे बोलिएगा एट द एंड कि क्या हम खुद कर सकते हैं. तो आपको समझ आना, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल आपको समझ आने लगता है कि आप सिर्फ करता है यहाँ पे, आप ऊपर वाले की मर्जी से चल रहे हैं. एंड slowly and it happened, a lot of my friends changed and I really miss them, but कुछ के साथ, I don't know if I should be saying this on video, अपने आप, a lot of people, not just friends, सब छूटता गया. They say that you should not force to leave anything. It automatically happens. And I think the biggest thing I would say from my experience is cooperate with the Dasha. Whatever is happening for your best. बहुत confusing होता है. It's very hard and painful to let go of the past. But जल्दी cooperate करोगे आप, जल्दी कर लोगे, नहीं करोगे तो you'll have to do it. I mean, there's no way out. Sir, 8-9 महीने I'm glad इतनी गुरु कृपा हो पा रही है. बट छोटी सी चीज और ऐड करना चाहूंगी जो मेरी छोटी सी रिसर्च सपोर्ट करती है. I've seen with a lot of people transiting from Rahu to Jupiter, depending on where Jupiter is placed, हम लोग बहुत गलत समझते हैं that Jupiter is, while it's expansion, but it's not just about money. मुझे हमेशा लोग कहते थे कि typical Rahu, when I do consultations, a lot of people ask कितने पैसे, कितना बड़ा बनूंगा, कितना बड़ा करियर होगा, कितने करोड़. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, you're in Rahu Dasha. It's okay. I am empathize with them.
Guess करो ये सवाल मुझसे सबसे ज्यादा किसने पूछा है?
मैंने पूछा था कितने करोड़. But but कितने करोड़ was always my
और मैं क्या
to
कहता
go.
था, ये अपना कैलकुलेटर इंची टेप रख के आया कर,
Yeah.
right? So now you understand how
So
it feels.
yeah, absolutely. So as you move towards Jupiter, I was told कि तब तुम Jupiter में आओगी, you're not even going to ask this question. So I was told that when you walk into Jupiter Dasha, you are never going to ask that how many crores I'm going to make. And I'm like, how is that possible? But still tell me how many crores. Everyone used to get very irritated. And in all honesty, in Jupiter, you don't care because you understand till the time you have God with you, you have Guru blessings, and you don't need anything more. He'll take care of you. You मतलब modern भाषा में बोलूं Gen Z में तो you do you, he will look after you.
And one thing I have noticed, people find some mentors somehow.
Yeah, I was coming to that. Yeah,
गुरु दशा में कोई ना कोई गुरु आपको मिल ही जाता है जो आपको सही रास्ते पे डाल देता है. So
बहुत high quality guru मिलते हैं.
yeah. So my question is, what is the one biggest change that
I think these changes are very subtle, and I don't want to give out wrong hope, but I would say that man ki shanti, but also there are big days when I'm very restless and at unease. But also it's a 16-year-old long dasha trying to
come now?
remove the effects of a 18-year-old long dasha. So it will take time. But suddenly आपको छोटी चीजों में चैन मिलने लगता है. You like a lot of isolation. I've never liked isolation. I was always about the seventh Rahu, other people. I feel like now my first Ketu has activated, which is about you want to run towards spirituality, God, something little where you find peace. You're no longer chasing the illusion. आपको बड़ी से बड़ी situation में you remain calm. The way you speak becomes calmer. So a lot of small changes. I had a big surgery all of a sudden out of nowhere.
This is the dark side of Dasha Sandhi, which most people don't want to face or don't want to realize. Dasha Sandhi is like a rebirth. A whole new chakra in your body is going to get activated. पुराना वाला रुकेगा,
Yeah,
नया वाला चालू होगा. You will become a totally different person. But rebirth से पहले मृत्यु तुल्य कष्ट भी झेलना पड़ता है.
बिल्कुल.
Right? You have to undergo a death in order to be reborn. वो same body में you are reborn. और राहु केतु शनि ये जाते जाते ये ब्लड लेटिंग करते हैं, आपके बॉडी में से जहर
बहुत
निकालते हैं.
जबरदस्त.
तुम्हारा तो लिटरली ऑपरेशन हुआ. Yeah, and I remember when
मतलब
you told me, I was shocked.
out of nowhere, one day I'm told that there's a lot of swelling on my neck. I go to the doctor and she says, "What's there in your neck?" And we go through tests, and it turns out it's a 13 or 10 centimeter big tumor. And within a month, I have to get operated. And I don't know, like, I think Rahu may over a small thing, coffee not being right, or like I'm applying for a job or some work, a client not calling back, that would stress me out. And here, you bring yourself back to Jupiter. एंड आपको लोग भी वैसे ही मिल जाते हैं. तो मेरे को बहुत ऐसे लोग मिले जिन्होंने मुझ में बहुत वो निष्ठा डाली कि कुछ नहीं होगा. You lean on God. And I think very easily I surrendered. I said, I'm a small part of you, your being. Again, the Bhagavad Gita talks about even this body is not yours. जिस पे हमको इतना अहंकार, इतना घमंड है. You're going to leave this and go. So I don't know, it happened magically. अगर मैं बोलूँ मैंने कुछ करा, मैं positive रही उस time, it's again ego, right? God was there and everything happened. I found the best of doctors so smoothly. People came to help me. Found the doctors. I was just
I
as
remember
compared
तुमसे
to
ज्यादा स्ट्रेस में मैं था.
हाँ, मुझसे ज्यादा स्ट्रेस में बहुत लोग थे.
You were giving hopes to everybody. अरे नहीं कुछ नहीं होगा. Although I knew कि you have a well placed Jupiter, but that was something even I did not expect.
Yeah.
I could anticipate कि थोड़ा बहुत health issue होगा या something like that, but it would go to a neck operation. That was like.
I know, and this bigger tumor coming out, like the size of almost a football.
So वो blood letting तुम्हारे केस में तो literal हुई, लेकिन वो blood letting के साथ सालों का जमा जहर निकल गया तुम्हारा.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
Your case is a typical atypical case of a Dasha Sandhi. ये जो राहु ने इतना जहर जमा किया हुआ था, it got observed in Jupiter.
देखिए ना, ऑल ऑफ अ सडन आया. किसी ने बोला कि मुझे खुद रियलाइज नहीं हुआ ये हुआ मेरे साथ. And it's very mystical. So agar, and I'm like, everything is adding up and matching to the T, जैसे जैसे आपने दशा संधि बताई थी.
What advice would you give to somebody undergoing a Rahu Moon, Rahu Mars and Dasha Sandhi? Let's say कोई तुम्हारे पास में कोई तुम्हारा क्लाइंट आता है, कोई दोस्त आता है, कोई some younger person comes जिसको कि तुम ऐसा गुरु एडवाइस करना चाहो या काउंसलर एडवाइस करना चाहो. As somebody who's gone through it, what would you advise?
Firstly, I have a lot of empathy and sympathy for them because it's not their fault. It's the time. सेकंड, आई थिंक आधे से ज्यादा काम हो जाता है जब उनको कोई मिलता है जो उनको समझ सकता है और उनको ये नहीं बोलता कि आप ओवर थिंक कर रहे हैं. दैट्स अ वर्स्ट थिंग दैट इज टोल्ड टू पीपल हु आर गोइंग थ्रू दैट फेज ऑफ टाइम.
Okay, hold
आई
on.
थिंक
Very,
सबसे
very good thoughts. So for parents, spouse, anybody, if a family member is going through Rahu Moon, they are going through a crazy phase. They are not crazy.
yeah,
They are going through a crazy phase. Have some empathy for them. Okay?
which you had for me.
Oh.
I think आपका सिर्फ बोलना कि yeah, you are going through a terrible time and you are in a terrible space just made me feel like that okay, you know, I have hope that this will end. तो सबसे जरूरी मेरे हिसाब से चीज है, देखिए जब मन और चित्त स्थिर नहीं होता तो कुछ भी बोलो वो समझ नहीं आता है किसी को. बट अगर हो सके आप साइकोलॉजिस्ट, साइकाइट्रिस्ट, प्रोफेशनल हेल्प बिल्कुल लीजिएगा. देयर इज नथिंग मोर दैट कैन सेव यू फ्रॉम दिस हैवक देन प्रोफेशनल हेल्प. और अगर फिर भी मेंटल स्थिरता अगर आपको अलाउ कर पाए, अगर आप में वो शक्ति हो करने की, तो मेरे हिसाब से शिव पूजा जरूर करिए. ओम नमः शिवाय चांट करना या शिवजी शिवलिंग पर जल चढ़ाना, इट मेक्स अ बिग बिग डिफरेंस. टुमारो इज आल्सो फुल मून.
Full moon in Cancer. My goodness.
So I am by the Ganga. I am in Rishikesh. So I'm okay this time.
तुम तो ओके हो.
वरना हम सब हिल जाते हैं. So शिव पूजा बहुत बड़ा रामबाण है. और साइकोलॉजिस्ट, साइकाइट्रिस्ट, राहु मून शुरू होते ही अगर आप ज्योतिष को थोड़ा भी समझते हैं और मानते हैं तो प्लीज आप जाइए. एंड आई प्रॉमिस यू दिस गेट्स बेटर. It's just a very tough karmic time where you have to learn lessons to be able to appreciate Jupiter. Rahu Mars. I think the best way is जो होना है वो होना है. You know, हमको जानना पड़ेगा कि जो लिखा है वो ही होगा. So it is a very up and down time, but I think आपको खुद ही ऑटोमेटिकली अगर आप थोड़ा भी चीजों को खुद ब खुद होने देते हैं, आपको हीलर्स, गाइड्स धीरे धीरे मिलना शुरू हो जाएंगे. आपको छोटी छोटी इफ नॉट रास्ता, आई वुड से साइन बोर्ड्स दिखने शुरू हो जाएंगे. यू नो, दैट्स अ बेटर वे टू. और जैसे जैसे मंगल का अंत आता जाएगा आपको गली रोड दिखनी शुरू हो जाएगी. और जुपिटर आते तो आपको ऑब्वियसली चीज बेहतर होंगी. बट प्लीज मत सोचिए जो मैंने सोचा था कि जुपिटर चालू मतलब सब लाइफ सेट. इट्स अ मिथ. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट.
Yeah. For Rahu Mangal, I would say take care of your driving. Do not get into fights and road rage. And if possible, go and donate blood, especially for male natives. And everybody should work out in a gym or a yoga or something where you can get that Rahu Mars energy out of your body. Yeah.
सर कई बार आई थिंक एनर्जी नहीं होती, हम इमोशनली इतना डिप्लीटेड होते हैं. तो मेरा पर्सनल मानना ये होगा राइड विद द वेव इन राहु मंगल.
और दशा संधि में जैसे कोई आते हैं, सर मेरा तो गुरु शुरू हो गया, मेरी तो बल्ले बल्ले होनी चाहिए. मैं कहता हूँ भाई 9 महीने रुक जाओ कि साल भर रुक जाओ. हाउ व्हाट वुड यू टेल टू सच अ पर्सन हु इज वेरी हैप्पी, मेरी तो कल से शुरू हो रही है.
मैं भी आपके पास आई थी. आई गॉट अ टू गुड टू बी ट्रू जॉब ऑफर and I was so happy and you told me that I don't get excited yet, and it turned out to be a complete scam eventually. तो जुपिटर में देखिए आपको गुरु मिलना शुरू हो जाएंगे, आपको रे ऑफ होप मिलेगी. आप फिर भी बहुत कंफ्यूज रहेंगे. स्थिर रहिए. जो just know what's meant to happen will happen. I think this is, I'm trying to make this my mantra and this has become my mantra that you are not the doer. जो होना होगा वो होगा. होने को कोई नहीं डाल सकता. So just let life slide through. You're going to feel much better in Jupiter. एक मानसिक चैन मिलेगा आपको जो आपको समझ आएगा कि राहु was, you know, sometimes I'm like, even if I get $1 billion, I wouldn't trade मन की शांति with that. I don't want that. This is what Jupiter truly
ये
does.
जुपिटर बोल रहा तुम्हारा. वेरी गुड. सेकंड लास्ट रादर, what has been your biggest learning through all this Dasha Sandhi particular?
I think it's learning going on. It's not all rosy yet. I think the biggest learning has been again surrender, Sarnagat.
Okay.
Right? Arjun was told that सब कुछ सीख के सिखा के you have to come in my sharan, you have to surrender. So ultimately, we as beings, it's very misunderstood कि कर्म हमें करना है, बिल्कुल करना है. But when you understand that code language of God, when you start connecting, you understand that everything is His will. ये जो हमारा एक राहुएरियन टेम्परमेंट होता है ना कि fight hard, hustle, so much hustle, hustle, hustle. I don't understand this hustle anymore. And I'm told by a lot of people, I used to be very ambitious. It's not that I'm not anymore, it's a different ambition. It's the ambitious to get to know yourself, and I'm like, rest will be taken care of by Almighty. And I'm told that I've lost my luster, I'm wasting my life. What is this dhyan vyan nonsense I'm doing? मैं ऋषिकेश भाग जाती हूँ. But at the end of it, हम सब भाग रहे हैं ना अपने आप से सब करके. So we have to really, I think my biggest learning is just surrender, simply trust and align with the universe. Everything will happen and you'll know it. You will feel it. And again, very beautifully, what Rajneeshji says, Osho says, um, Anuman mat karo, anubhav karo, which I love. That don't speculate, don't hear 100 things that people say and believe it. You experience it on your own. When you meditate, when you connect with God, when you chant, when you do the bhajan, you will have your own experiences that will tell you if this works or not. हवा है, हम देख सकते हैं हवा को नहीं देख सकते, पर हवा है, that is a fact. So is God there, not there? It is for you to experience it.
Great. So last question, what do you look forward to doing in Jupiter Dasha?
I don't know. We'll see, but I really don't want to. I'm very clear I don't want to live my life the way I lived in Rahu. And I'm doing a lot of astrology. So मेरी अंदरूनी इच्छा है कि I'm able to serve a lot of people. I should do something जहाँ मैं बहुत लोगों को कुछ उनकी जिंदगी में एक छोटा सा डिफरेंस कर सकती हूँ. And hopefully जैसा आपकी prediction है, if I'm able to stay connected to anything धार्मिक, आध्यात्मिक, और वो अगर हम विश्व में फैला सकते हैं, हमारे पास हमारे देश में ऋषि मुनियों ने इतना ज्ञान दिया है. तो अगर again by almighty blessing, if I'm able to spread that into the world, do something good. I think Jupiter is a time where you want to work, but in a very fulfilling way. It's no more about कि बस पैसा कमाना है, गलत means. So also you become very ethics driven in Jupiter. धीरे धीरे, I mean, by no means I'm, you know, claiming that happens overnight, but you do become more charitable. आपको सही और गलत में you refrain from doing anything wrong. You think 4 times versus Rahu. So let's see where Jupiter takes me.
Great, great. So this is a new improved Divya. मतलब वो आता था ना वो एजुकेशन मिशन वाला कि यकीन नहीं होता ये वही लड़की है टाइप्स. पूरब से सूर्य उगा फैला उजियारा. तो तुम्हारा सूर्य उग गया है. Really happy. I still was thinking about that day we met and I got that phone call from you. And today I refuse to believe this is the same person. मतलब I want to ask you who are you and what have you done to Divya? But since I know the impact of Jupiter, I'm so happy for you. Bless you, Vacha. And I wish you all the best for your Jupiter Dasha. And I hope people learn from this interview. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing this.